what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of What's Poppin' Podcast, episode number 5. Yeah, good to see you, Tim. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Not enjoying the winter weather as usual, but it's supposed to get a lot warmer here and hopefully melt all that away and all that. And I'm excited for the upcoming Super Bowl and all that stuff. Go Chiefs.
Are you? Oh, you're a Chiefs fan.
Yeah. I'm in Missouri.
Yeah,
of course I have to be.
I was about to question you on that one. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of NFL. I prefer college football, but I do like watching the Super Bowl just because of the excitement, everyone else's excitement, and also the commercials, man. You know why? Because we end up getting trailers for movies too.
Dude, have you heard what's supposedly coming out this Super Bowl trailer-wise?
No, what?
We're supposed to get a trailer for WandaVision and the Falcon and Winter Soldier show.
I wouldn't doubt that we get the Fast and the Furious one too.
Yeah, that's possible.
There's a Fast and Furious 9 coming now, a trailer, but I maybe a teaser for that, so that'll be interesting. All right, yeah, I'm actually excited for that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm mainly more excited because of the whole commercial thing. So.
Oh yeah, I get that completely.
How was your week been though, man?
Oh, it's been good. It's been very busy, very very busy. Just trying to live life to the fullest and kind of get things done where I got to get it done and stuff. And I know you've been having a good time and everything like that on Twitch lately. And
yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man. So far, this week has been kind of exhausting. Just taking care of the little one, just trying to balance life with work and stuff. And it's just, but I'm happy. That's the
key, man. That's
the good thing.
Good year.
I hope you guys have been having a good week as well. We have quite a lot of news. We're actually sitting here trying to all right, pick and choose which topics we wanted to discuss or bring up that you guys, the audience, might find interesting, and stuff that we feel like we can actually deep dive into it as well.
Yeah. And we had a lot to pick from. A lot. It was kind of cool. So I'm excited to get into this one.
We have quite a few. So grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, because we're about to get started here on some movie news.
Oh yeah.
So let me go ahead and kick it off because this one got me a little excited, man.
Okay.
So this is from comingsoon.net. Jim Carrey is interested in the Mask sequel.
Dude.
Under one condition.
Okay. Well, I don't know the condition at all. Please tell me.
Let me go ahead and read you this quote. I don't think in terms of sequels and stuff like that. I mean, this one, Sonic the Hedgehog, because he was doing a Sonic the Hedgehog interview.
Press, yeah.
Is kind of right for it because we have not involved. He hasn't involved in the character of Dr. Eggman fully yet. Carrey said the Mask. I think myself, it would depend on a filmmaker. It depends on a filmmaker, really. I don't want to do it just to do it, but I would only do it if it was some crazy visionary filmmaker. Sure. That's what he said.
That's a fair... I like that response, actually.
I'm happy that he actually said that because...
He's not going to shill out just for the money of the paycheck.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good thing. I really enjoyed his Mask, his portrayal. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, did you ever see the Son of Mask?
I regretfully
not in that one, but
no. I saw. I think maybe the first half hour or maybe hour of that, and I was like, no, I can't with that.
I think I saw it on television one time, like it was on cable TV years back when I used to watch a lot of TV. But yeah, I never actually finished it.
No, it was bad,
God, man. Yeah, it was terrible. But the Jim Carrey original Mask was phenomenal. I still like it, dude. It is dumb fun comedy, and it feels like a comic book movie because it is. I believe it was a comic book back in the days too.
Yeah, it felt very kind of like classic Looney Tunes. I think that was directly in like at what they were going for. It reminded me a lot of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, with the like animation style of ways he would kind of just twirl into a tornado and do things.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of ahead of its time. Now I look back at it, it was a good movie.
And I think they can actually, they can do. I think they can come up with a pretty good story in terms of the for a sequel. Like, imagine all these years because I know at the end of the movie he throws it, and then his buddy jumps in the water for it or whatever. But I think it would be kind of funny that if it showed the time gap between the first movie and this one, where the mask was, if it went from person to person and eventually ends up back to him.
That would be cool, like a time lapse, or
Yeah,
he's quite a bit older now anyway, but he
yeah,
like opens a door for his mail and it's there, and he's like, it has like a flashback and like a hyperlapse of the first movie, and I think it'd be wild. I don't know, it'd be good.
I think it'd be great. So I'm up for the mass sequel. Hopefully, you know, somebody was listening to what Jim Carrey was saying there, like a studio or directors, that can probably come up with a decent story.
Any ideas of who you would want to be involved in that project?
Like as far as
like a director?
James Gunn.
Yeah, he'd be a really good choice.
I feel like he could do it.
I was gonna say like Tim Burton would be a cool one too.
That too, yeah. Tim Burton would be pretty cool too. But I don't know, man. Tim Burton has been kind of hit or miss with some of his movies.
True, so yeah. It may be,
yeah. So I don't know.
I was thinking of like the romanticized classic
Dumbo movie. I didn't watch the Dumbo movie with I haven't seen it yet, but I need to watch it. But I've heard a lot of bad things about the Dumbo movie, and that one has like a really good cast that I like because it has like a lot of the characters from what is it, Batman Returns. Yeah. So as Michael Keaton, has Danny DeVito, right? Yeah. So
that movie was it didn't know what it really wanted to be as far as tone. It shifted quite a bit throughout the whole story thing. I saw things to like about it, but I also found things I didn't like about it. So yeah. I don't know who would be a good director for that.
Yeah. So I think my it's just like a wild thing that just kind of came off the top of my head. I think James Gunn would be pretty cool, but somebody that can hit the comedic points. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. Anyway, so the next one on the table, this is kind of funny to me because a little bit of nostalgia. I don't know if it would work nowadays. I think they could definitely make it work if they do practical effects. So it is that Sony is developing an Anaconda reboot from Divergent screenwriter. And did you ever watch the Anaconda movie?
No. All I've seen is like the little Wikipedia really quick synopsis of the thing. And I have to say, it looks like a movie I never thought it would have existed ever, but it does. Yeah. At least the first one definitely looks like something I just want to watch with like some popcorn at home.
Yeah, exactly. It became a cult classic, by the way. Over 20 years, man. 1997.
Sheesh. I was 3.
I feel old, man. I'm trying to think here. 97, I was in the 4th grade. So I was roughly like 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I was around 10 years old. So I remember renting this movie, Blockbuster 2.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Classic.
So I feel old, man. Yeah. This movie was actually, it was scary at some points too, man, because
it's a giant snake.
Yes.
Of course it's scary.
Like, there was CGI at some points, you know, early CGI. So it doesn't probably, like, if you rewatch it, I haven't seen it in a long time. Pretty sure if I rewatch it, it probably wouldn't look as great. But there is also some points where it's practical effects and it works so well. I think they can do it. Also, you know, maybe get Ice Cube's son to do it because Ice Cube was in the original.
Yeah,
and that would be cool. Son, I think, you know, it'd be a nice little callback to the OG, and his son looks just like him too, man. So, yeah,
that'd be interesting. I know one thing is that it's a movie that I could never take quite a few people that are my friends and family because snakes hit phobias like none other where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how well I'd handle like an up-to-date visual experience of a giant snake murdering people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's totally off topic here, but it has to do with the fact that this is a creature feature, is that they're remaking Arachnophobia. There's been news about that before.
Oh, hell.
And I think that's, I don't know. I think that creature features are fucking awesome. Like, I have like a thing for those movies. Like, they freak me out. It reminds me so much of the 90s, just because there were so many of them back then. There isn't too many now. You know what I mean? So this would be pretty cool to bring back some more of these like creature features because they're more, and I don't want to say realistic, but kind of, right?
They're
as opposed to like a ghost or demons and stuff like that. Like, of course, you know, some people do believe in that kind of stuff. And but,
I would say it's a more primal type of horror where instinctually like that's a creature that I know does technically exist, like versions of that, and I'm not a fan of getting bit by those things. Therefore, I feel the need to run. It's very simple, but it works. So I like them too. It's just, yeesh.
So I'm on board with this for sure. Are you like this idea?
I'd watch it. Yeah.
Make a reboot. Yeah. Right. All right. So, next bit of news here. I got the official title for Chris Rock's Saw reboot possibly revealed.
See, I didn't know he was even doing a reboot.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I thought it was like a joke, to be honest with you. And I didn't like. I don't know how I feel about this.
Are you a fan of the Saw movies?
It's interesting. I fun fact, I actually went to a Saw Fest. I think when the fourth one came out,
like during Halloween time.
It was whenever around the fourth movie came out. I think they're like up to like 8 of them now. There's like 8 or 9, dude. There's a ridiculous amount. But when the fourth one came out, they had like a Saw marathon in my local theater here, AMC, and basically we watched all 1 through 4.
Oh wow!
And
in one sitting.
It was an experience, man. It was an experience. You know what sucked too is that they didn't really have intermissions either, man. They just like went on, like we couldn't even like stretch our legs. People were just eventually they ended up just like leaving between like the shitty ones. Like the first 2 were great. Third one, that was the restroom break one and go get your popcorn or refills or whatever. And then the fourth one, I went with a few friends of mine, so I enjoyed it because I was with them and we got a nice laugh out of everything. But they progressively started to get worse, and it just got
How many Saw movies did they make? I think it got up to 7, right?
I want to say they're up to 9.
Oh, 9 now. Sheesh.
It says Saw 9 is due in theaters on May 15th of 2020. So this will be the 9th one. So they're up to 8. Wow. So this will be technically the 9th one.
I got to tell you, man, I wasn't a fan of Saw whenever I saw it at I think it was like a friend's house. They had it like on, and I wasn't a fan of it. But I really liked the first one after I actually sat down and watched it. And I never got around to watching the sequels, but it all pretty much got spoiled for me, more or less, because you know how it goes with movies as iconic as those. So whether I was at school or with friends or in college or wherever I was, people would talk about things that happened. So it's kind of just I'm familiar with it, but I'm not intimately familiar with the franchise.
Yeah, so this is quite interesting to me, just because Chris Rock, out of all people, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't picture him making like a horror movie like this.
The comedian, right?
Yeah. But then again, Jordan Peele made
the
last 2 horror movies. You know, the first one was more of like a suspense drama film, which
I like to Get Out a lot more than I did Us.
And then Us, I felt like it had potential, but just towards the end, just didn't deliver for me. I thought it was okay. It's a watchable movie. It's entertaining, but it didn't make sense
in some areas.
Right, but when this movie first got announced that it was going to be kind of like a trauma piece or like a you know, suspense type movie, people didn't really take it that serious either, because he's come off of like being a comedian. You know, he has little shows that he was on too, which was Key and Peele. So with this one, Chris Rock, it's very, very interesting. I'm up for it. Like, I'm actually like, we'll see what they come up with. But right now, they have like a little plot synopsis. Okay. This is this particular installment of the long-running horror franchise comes from a story by Chris Rock, who will co-star with Samuel Jackson.
Oh, shit!
It got me a little excited when I saw that name. I'm like, okay,
that's a wombo combo, actually, right there.
Yeah, Rock plays a police detective investigating a series of grisly crimes, with Jackson playing his father. They're joining in the film by Max Minghella, who plays William Shank, and Rock's partner, and Marisol Nichols as Captain Angie. And that's Rock's boss, and that's pretty much what it is right now. It says the Untitled Saw reboot will offer fans worldwide a new amped up level of deviously treacherous traps, clever clues, and the edge of the seat suspense. they expect from the one of the world's most terrifying horror franchise. I don't know about the world's terrifying. Okay,
that's them going,
pump
hey.
the brakes there, okay, pump the brakes.
Yeah,
but I think this could be good. This could be good.
Yeah, the fact, I mean, Chris Rock, I thought, okay, so I was understanding he was just kind of like behind the scenes on it. If he's also starring in the thing, and there's like, say, that alone what makes me want to watch it, regardless what the movie or franchise is, just to see those two act together.
I
so
just
I'm down.
hope it isn't like, I want to see him like actually be scared and like serious, and I feel like this could be good. I just don't want it to make. I don't want him to make it like a funny thing, because then
or a comedy.
When I first heard that he was gonna direct or pretty much reboot the Saw series, I instantly thought of Scary Movie. I was like, is he gonna make it like Scary Movie where he's gonna be making fun of it, or is this like an actual thing? But apparently, this is gonna be an actual thing, and it is slated to release May 15th of 2020. So, we'll see. I guess hopefully we'll get a trailer or something.
I really kind of miss Scary Movie. Yeah, I don't know why they hit like a certain nostalgia for me. It's just it was a really taboo but fun thing. I enjoyed them a lot.
I enjoyed the first four. The first four movies were great. First two are the best, hands down.
That's where all the good jokes were.
Pretty good. Yeah,
I mean that's where the best jokes were. So.
Yeah, they had the Wayans brothers in there too, man. That was just classic. But yeah, that's it for the for the Saw reboot stuff. So I got one more, and then I'll go ahead and toss it over to Tim, and I got a couple other ones I got to take care of as well.
All right.
So the last one before I toss it over to you, Tim, we got the original Ghostbusters cast shot afterlife scenes over 1 week. By afterlife, I mean like the movie's called Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Okay.
And yeah, so the original cast being Dan Aykroyd, Murray, and obviously, what is it? Ray Stantz, Winston. He plays Winston.
Oh yeah,
the three shot their scenes already, so that's good because people were being very like hesitant because of the trailer. They just didn't want it to be like a Stranger Things thing, and I get it because
yeah, I get it too. Like at the same time though, people need to remember like, Stranger Things is a thing now, but a lot of like what inspired a lot of different things from Stranger Things is what's came before, including Ghostbusters.
Yes, Ghostbusters.
So they can kind of do this and not really be unoriginal with it. So
I think that I like the fact that they're coming back and reprising the roles because that shitty reboot.
We don't talk about
that. They came back, but they played completely different characters. They weren't even the characters.
No.
So that was pretty much like a whole like reboot thing. This is like
that was glorified cameos, to be honest.
It seems like this is gonna be more of like a passing the torch thing. And I hope that's what it is. That's what I personally want. I'm pretty sure some people don't want that, but I personally want that just because I want more Ghostbusters movies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why someone wouldn't want that. I mean, that just makes sense as far as like wanting more and coolness from the series because the fact that they shot it in, you said it was a week, right? There are all their scenes.
Well, they shot their scenes, in about a week.
That's perfectly fine. You have to remember.
That sounds like, also, I don't mean to cut you off, but that also sounds like that this isn't just going to be just like a quick cameo too. No. So that means they have scenes, like multiple scenes that they're heavily involved in the movie. So that's a good thing, man.
Yeah, you have to remember too, like if people are saying that's too short of a filming or whatever as well, because I know productions can take anywhere from mere months to a full year depending upon the scope of a film. For something like this, I imagine it's several months, almost the majority of a year, but that involves a lot of things, including like technicalities and stunts and all that stuff. But the part they play, they're elderly. Like these men and actors are very old people. Like, so they're going to be able to play what they can physically play and what they can bring to the screen themselves.
Yeah, man, because they're at that age, dude, where it's just like they're going to be they're pushing themselves already,
Yeah.
For a role like this.
And a full week of having them at their age doing this, I think is very promising. And I'm excited, dude. I loved Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I always have. It's just a good time. So I'm looking forward to this.
I feel like Ghostbusters is in line for me. I know a lot of people they're gonna probably look at me sus, but is in line with me in terms of with like Back to the Future 1 and 2.
No, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like those like I don't know. I look at those movies for like classic action comedy movies, you know, like I just yeah, I love the original too. I really did. So I'm looking forward to the Afterlife one. Finally, we are actually getting a true Ghostbusters 3 movie. We did get kind of a sequel, like a third one, which was in the form of the video game that came out, which
Oh
wasn't too
yeah.
bad. I actually liked it. I recently played the remastered version of that game
Mm-hmm.
too, during October, and it was a good time, man. They
I
could
saw
have
you
used
playing
that
that.
back in the day. Yeah, they could have used it back in the day, that story, but I'm glad with what we're getting now. So, you know, this should be interesting.
For
So,
sure.
yeah. So,
That's good
you
stuff.
got a bit of news now?
Yeah, I do, Jimmy. From Discussing Film on Twitter, a Witcher animated film titled The Witcher Nightmare of the
Witcher!
Wolf, which is a cool title, Nightmare of the Wolf, that will be set during season 1 and 2 of The Witcher, is reportedly in development at Netflix. That's
Okay.
great.
Okay, so we're getting an animated, pretty much like a continuation, or just like it's a movie, right? It's a film.
It's animated film titled The Witcher.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a film. Yep.
Okay. So this is gonna fall in between the events after 1 leading up to 2.
Actually, it
I'm
says it'll
down
be
with it.
set during season 1 and 2. So it's
Oh,
like something else that's going on in addition to those 2 seasons.
interesting.
So I don't
Okay.
know what that could be, but
I wonder if Henry Cavill's gonna be voicing the character in that one too.
it might be. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, the way the first season of Witcher was shot, um, not linearly at all, I think lends
Mhm.
itself to have some gaps filled in, and it
Mhm.
not mess with anything too badly. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
totally possible that
Hey
this is
man,
going to be a good
honestly,
time.
I'm down with more Witcher content. I've been enjoying it.
I still have that song like at the touch of a moment. It's still in my head
Yeah,
of like toss a coin
of
to your
course.
Witcher.
You know what's crazy too is that they have mods for the PC version of The Witcher 3 where they include Henry Cavill's voice, and they have I believe the song, you can add the song to there too.
Wow.
So yeah, there's people are on it, man.
Yeah, that's such good news. I'm so happy for that because it looked
Yeah.
at first, like I said in our review. If you haven't seen it, please go watch our review.
Yes, please go watch the full
Um,
review of season 1 that we did.
yeah,
I think it was definitely one of my favorite episodes that we did. So please go check it out. Go
yeah.
give it a like as well. So yeah.
But when I started that, I had a hard time getting into it. But by the end of it, I was so grateful that I actually
You
tried it.
stuck it out. Yeah, you stuck
Yeah,
it out, and
it
it was
was.
worth it.
I'm looking forward to more Witcher stuff. It
Yeah,
really
so
was
this is
cool.
good. And they can do so much more too because they're not limited in terms of like, you know, like I said, certain episodes in our review, I mentioned that it felt like it was like budget, like
Hmm.
they at least with the animation, it's different because they can push the boundaries for
If you can
explosions
if
or
you can
whatever,
draw
you
it
know?
if you can draw it, it's happening. It's not a
Yeah.
matter of
So
yeah.
that should be pretty cool. And plus, I think, like I said, with the success that the first season is getting, more money. They get more money and they can do more
Hmm.
things. And if the animation film does a lot better too, then come on, that's gonna give them the idea that hey, we should invest much more in this series because people are loving it.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's great.
Yep. Now, speaking of series that, despite the love of the fans and the success and just overall the splendid, wondrous thing that it was, Game of Thrones did not end so well. And George R. R. Martin, according to Discussing Film, has said that David Benioff and D.B. Weiss initially planned to develop a film trilogy to conclude HBO's Game of Thrones. Now, would that have been better than perhaps the way we got season 7 and 8? Who's to say? I personally think they were kind of burnt out, and the way that they prioritize their own careers rather than the integrity of what was already their tasked to
They
bring
were
to screen.
also nervous, and then
Yeah.
they had a lot on their shoulders, man. but I think they should have taken their time as much as they could, and they should have been a little bit more prepared. Personally,
yeah, dude, I can't think. There's only one other thing that has upset me as much as the ending of Game of Thrones, and that was Batman versus Superman and Suicide Squad. Those two DC movies. And I don't know which one ticked me off more. This being the more recent thing, it upset me so much, and I'm such a petty nerd that I took all artwork of Game of Thrones that I had in my home. Yes, I had posters. I had a freaking Stark flag. I had a map. Dude. I had the books, and I had the shows all on Blu-ray on my shelf, and they are now encased in a box in my attic, and will never, unless somehow by some miracle it gets fixed, be seen by anyone again.
You sound like that one person that met their hero, and it was not who thought it be. So you took down their fucking poster.
Yeah, dude, I was pissed. Dude, I was so mad. It was bad.
My goodness. God. So basically, it was going to be a movie?
A movie trilogy. A movie trilogy.
A movie trilogy. Yeah. Do you think... Now, I'm asking you because obviously you were more of a hardcore fan than I was. Like, I enjoyed the series for what it was. I wasn't happy with the ending at all. No, absolutely not. But I enjoyed it for what it was, right? But you, on the other hand, you kind of invested more time and effort. You looked into like theories and all that other stuff, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, dude. I was into it.
You're right.
I was a believer of Jon Snow's parents.
Yeah, and a lot of my friends were too. Trust me, man. And they would always send me theories or little things like little news clips of like, oh, this could be this, or this might happen this, or like a spoiler or whatever.
R plus L equals J.
Yeah, I get it, man. Now, I wanted to ask you is, do you think it could have worked if they decided to go with 3 films?
It's really hard to say, because ultimately it boils down, in my opinion, anytime any film, show, anything gets made, no matter how beautiful it looks, how well acted it is, how awesome the score is, everything could come together. But if the writer didn't know what the fuck they're doing, it's not gonna hold up, and it's gonna fall on its face. And
you know what that sounds like to me?
What
you just said, like all those little particular things. Sounds like Star Wars Episode 9.
Yeah, a little bit.
It looked beautiful. The acting wasn't bad at all, but the fucking writing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I think that's the ultimate basis of it. And so, like, I would love to eventually somehow enter another dimension where I could watch that to see if it was better. But it's ultimately kind of water under the bridge at this point. I know that in certain interviews, I believe, don't quote me on this in case I'm wrong, but I'm very confident that George R. R. Martin has said that he is confident his ending in his books will not be the same ending that was in the show. Oh. Which kind of is a light at the end of the tunnel for fans and stuff like that. But it's interesting, though, the fact that they were planning to develop a film trilogy.
And I feel bad, too, man, because I feel like they kind of
shot themselves in the foot.
People might feel completely different about this, but, like, I feel like the end of the last season, or just the last season in general, there was suspicious things that happened in certain events. There was just like, wait, what? Like, doesn't make sense. You know what I'm about?
Yeah,
particular episodes.
The Starbucks cup. You remember that?
Yeah, all that fucking mess. Yeah. I feel like the entire last season kind of tarnished his story.
It did some damage to his IP.
That's why I think he was like tweeting out or doing interviews because he was very nervous at the fact that it kind of fucked up, you know? And
the whole reason he was scared to even let him make a show was because he didn't want that to happen. And he literally asked them at their interview meeting to get them to do the show. He's like, who is Jon Snow's parents? And they answered correctly, which told him that they cared about the story that he had written so far. And the way they adapted his written word was great. They did fantastic. So it is kind of interesting. I mean, I'm down to theorize about it, but I'll move on for now.
All right.
And something that I am quite opposite about, and I am so excited for, is the final season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars will begin streaming on February 21st on Disney Plus.
It's coming up, man. It's coming up. And I know Tim has been telling me, Jimmy, you have to watch it. You have to watch it. And finally, I'm going to watch it before the new season releases. So I'm gonna get it done so that we can do a full review of season 7 for you guys.
Yeah.
Especially with the ending of Mandalorian, with spoiler alert. Okay. For the dark saber.
Yes.
That they showed off. And I know it has a lot of has history in the Clone Wars as well, with it being, on different hands of Mandalorians. And
yeah, it's cool.
It left the door open because it's like, how the hell did Moff Gideon end up with the Darksaber? So I have to know my history with that, and I want to watch Clone Wars. So I am going to get on there, and we're gonna get to review season 7. But how excited are you for season 7? Dude?
Holy shit! Okay, so I saw the trailer. I should have recorded a reaction. That's like the one trailer I should have done a reaction on the channel for, but I couldn't help myself. I was at work. The most recent trailer got announced and shown on Twitter. Watch that shit, dude. Every single frame of it, I was losing my mind. The fact that
I didn't watch the trailer, I should have done a reaction to it, but it wouldn't have made sense if I did one, because I haven't seen any of it. So a lot of it just would have been like, wait, what? Who's that character? Yeah. What's that? So I couldn't do one. Trust me. People told me, are you gonna do reactions to it? I was like, I haven't seen the series. I need to watch it first. So yeah.
I'll say this, man. Up until this point, it wasn't confirmed if it just led up to episode 3 or if it dipped its toe into episode 3. Mm-hmm. And there's scenes in the newest season from that trailer that are the scenes from a different point of view in episode 3.
Oh wow.
So it takes place up to that point and then partially into episode 3. I don't know how far.
Yeah.
But the Clone Wars as a show led up to a certain point. Then Disney, when they got them, kind of put a hold on it because it was on Cartoon Network and they didn't want it on a different service. And then it never continued after that. Mm-hmm. And it stopped at a point where it's like maybe 2 years, I think, before episode 3 happened. So there was still a big gap. And a lot of fans wanted to see where that went. And so we're finally getting to see that on February 21st.
And this is the series finale too, right?
Yeah, it's the final season. Yeah.
The final season. Crazy, man.
Dude, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for this too. Just because I'm all up for more Star Wars, man. And I'm happy that I've waited. I'm sad because I want to talk about it a little bit more with you, but I'm happy that I did wait because now I have so much content that I get to watch right now.
True. Well, what we can do as well is once the final season has had its last episode and we talked about the show as it's either gone on or is finally in the giant season review, that can also be a chance for you to get your thoughts out on Clone Wars as a whole. And share your thoughts about that. It'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be fun to do.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm looking forward to that. So I have 2 more things on Star Wars, and then I'll toss it back over to you.
Let's do it.
So this one it caused mass panic, and that's the fact that the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series has been put on hold. Crew have been told that the show will be down, quote, misquote, indefinitely. Kathleen Kennedy was not happy with the scripts. Sources say that the scripts will most likely be reworked with the goal to reassemble in the summer. What do you think? What does that hit you with when you hear that?
Oh man, honestly, I was happy. I was like, good. I wasn't happy. Obviously, my selfish, me being selfish. I'm like, no, I need it now. But I don't need it now to the point where it's just like, okay, we're gonna give you a half-ass story because we're dealing with Obi-Wan here. Okay, we're not dealing with a brand new character that nobody knows about. We're dealing with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So please get it right. Take your time. It's okay, because the good thing about that character is he's at that perfect age, man.
Yeah.
Where it's okay. Even if we have to wait, another year, it's totally fine. It's not that big of a deal. We are gonna get it. When we do, it's gonna be perfect. I know it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad that they're taking their time and are actually acknowledging the fact that no, the script isn't perfect yet. you know?
Yeah.
So please, by all means. And I think they actually in the article they said that it had too many like similarities to The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I heard that too. I read that. I think it was in that article. I know that for me, what was shocking was the amount of people who are like saying it's a bad thing and like ragging on him. And I'm like, that. First of all, as someone who wasn't a fan of the sequel series, as you guys probably know by now, my issue with a lot of other people who were having an issue with it, complained that they didn't really seem to have a plan from the very start of that to the very end of it. They just kind of winged it as they went, and it felt very unconstructed and cared for. The fact that she's saying, let's take a moment, let's push it back just enough, let's go consolidate, make it better, that's nothing but a positive. That like, there's no other way to look at that. Because like you said, you don't want it to be half-assed, you don't want it to be just, I guess it's cool. Well, you want it to be something that's like, dude, did you see this? It's crazy. Like, I love this.
And so, that's what I mean. It's like, not just like that it's half-assed, but it's the fact that like people feel like some people feel, right? Because I don't think Mandalorian is a perfect, flawless show.
Right.
Because it definitely, I can see why certain people didn't like it. And I see that, right? I see their point of view. I can see it. But for me, I enjoyed it personally. Like, I loved it, dude. And they're heading in the right direction. And I think they learned a lot from the first season. So hopefully that draws some of them back to want to watch it. Now, but dealing with the character, an existing character since the beginning of Star Wars.
Yeah, episode 4, back in the day.
Yes, so this is a touchy, and they have to want to get it right because they don't want to fucking have a prequel situation, man.
And it's really close to where that character kind of lines up. I mean, it's like maybe 10 years away or something like that, or maybe more than that, but it's fairly close to where Alec Guinness picks it up. And so, like, you got to do it justice. And I have no doubt in Ewan McGregor's capabilities, and I definitely have no doubt in, I cannot remember her name. She was the director for the series. She did the work on Mandalorian. And those I have no doubts about. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, is there anything in particular that you want from this series to happen? Like anything from like the lore or like anything from like Clone Wars or Rebels that happen? Any particular event that you want to see in live action for? There's one that I think you might know what I'm talking about. There's a particular fight in an encounter, and that is, well, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels or Clone Wars, but there is a point where Obi-Wan meets up with Darth Maul again, and they have this conversation with each other. And it's like, dude, I watched that because somebody sent it to me. I'm like, what is this? Like, oh, I didn't know that this was Rebels, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this was Rebels. And I was like, wow, dude, like that fucking scene was amazing. The fight scene, I think the fight sequence could have been a little bit longer, but I think they could do that in live action form. And the way it ends, the fight, it's not the way you expected it to end.
Right. Well, okay. So I disagree that I want to see that in the series.
Well, that's one of the things I want to see in live action. That's
because of the way it was done in Rebels. I thought was actually quite perfect. The fight was brilliantly done because he shifts through 3 different stances before going against Maul, and it's really cool. So he strikes up the pose. I'm such a nerd. He strikes up the pose of classic Obi-Wan from 1 and 2 and Clone Wars era, and I think even 3. And then he strikes up the classic Alec Guinness kind of pose of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And then he finally settles on Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn's pose, which is a actually conscious choice to bait Maul.
Man. The details, dude.
Yes, to bait Maul to try and do the same move that he killed his master with, only to him just to counter that. And it was really, really well done. So I don't know if I'd want to see that. But I can totally see if they decide to do that, it would be spectacular live action. And
the reason why I brought that particular scene up, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. The way Solo, the movie, I don't know if you remember Solo,
how it
ended. The way it ended was the best thing some Star Wars fans could have asked for because it left us like jaw drop. I didn't expect that. Did you expect that out of Solo?
Not out of Solo. I didn't expect to see Maul just because I'd
Right.
seen some stuff from Rebels and I knew that he picked up from there, but I didn't know where the in-between was.
So I don't think we're gonna get another Solo film.
I doubt it, just because of how that kind of whole box office thing went down.
The fact they can't let that moment go to waste.
No.
And they can literally introduce him back into the Obi-Wan series.
Right. Yeah.
That can be the main villain for him.
Yeah, it'd be tricky though, because I don't want to spoil too much for you for Rebels in case you get a chance to watch it.
Right.
But Maul doesn't know that Obi-Wan's alive at all until that moment. He actually finally, he lives and he goes and tries to kill him. Like, that is the first time they meet since wherever they last meet.
Right.
So it seems kind of odd that it would be if they had him, that they would almost have to never meet for it to make sense continuity wise. But I would be down to see what Maul's doing on the side, and that'd be really cool. But I think what would be a really cool aspect of the show would be just him encountering things and just almost like a guardian angel, but like going through shit on Tatooine, trying to keep stuff away from Luke would be crazy cool. Like,
that makes that also. That's pretty much what I'm getting from this series. That's what it's gonna be. He's pretty much gonna be just hovering around him, just to keep him safe. Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I can imagine like little Luke wandering off, and he's like, "God damn it!" Goes around. He's like hiding stuff from him.
You must escort missions, man. It's just like
exactly.
He got into the. Damn it, man!
He's walking towards the Sarlacc pit. What is he doing?
Yeah,
like jumps up there.
Say that.
It'd be fun.
But yeah, man, I think that's great, dude.
So
go ahead. I think we should move on to the next topic.
Okay, sounds good. The last Star Wars bit that I have is a Knights of the Old Republic game is going to be having a remake reimagining, and that's rumored to be in development. I don't see who would be the studio behind it. I imagine it'd probably be EA or someone who has the current rights from Disney to make the games. But have you played Knights of the Old Republic?
I have never played any of the Knights of the Old Republic games, but I watch a few friends play through them, and I know the story in Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. I've always wanted to do a playthrough of them, but like I've recently watched somebody else play through it again, and I think the story's phenomenal, right? But the games did not age very well at all, man.
Yeah, they're older.
Just, but I think the story is there. I just think they need to fix a lot of the control issues. There's times where sometimes people can get stuck in certain areas. So I think a remake?
A remake reimagining.
Okay.
But I remember have you ever seen the cutscenes that were for those games?
Yeah.
Holy shit. If you guys haven't seen those cutscenes before, look them up on YouTube. It's like mind-blowingly cool.
Yeah. And I think them bringing that back, we'll see if people are interested in the old, or if they really are interested in the Old Republic. Because I want to see a film based on the Old Republic.
Yeah, same.
I definitely want to see that. That's like the next thing I want to see is the Old Republic in terms of live action goes. I think that'd be great if they did 2 movies. They don't have to do a whole trilogy, but 2 movies of the Old Republic. Perfect. And then with the game coming out, I think that'd be fucking awesome. But I think if they remake it, this will definitely get me to play them, for sure. I've just been putting it off because it's just damn, they're kind of old, and they didn't age very well. Yeah. But the story's there. The story's fucking awesome.
Especially if they remake it
yeah,
with not to the same quality degree, but the new Final Fantasy remake looks stunning. And all the Resident Evil remakes have been looking really stunning and quality. And so if they invest the time to make the game play while looking that cool, there's no way that's not going to be a success.
Especially if they have it, dude. I don't know if you played the last Star Wars game.
Oh, Jedi Fallen Order?
Yes.
I never got around to it, but I watched several, I think 4 people play through it entirely. Because I didn't buy it, but I loved it.
God, man, that game was fucking awesome. It wasn't perfect, but it had its moments that were just oh my God, this is amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It felt like Star Wars, and that's all I could ask for, man. So I think, they can get a pretty good, they can get a decent team to work on this, that like for the next Star Wars game, with EA, that'd be cool. I'm down with that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's all I got as far as my block of news, and then I'll toss it back over to you real quick.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and keep it with the game theme here. I got another bit of. Mattson Tomlin is now reportedly set to write the screenplay for the Mega Man film.
Hey, that's gonna be interesting.
Fighting robot.
Yeah,
Mega Man.
I wonder how they would make that into like a movie, because it's the Mega Man games. Correct me if I'm wrong. They're pretty much boss rush, where you face a boss and then you do a bunch of platforming and then you face a boss, and right.
How
would that work in a movie? I wonder.
Oh man, well, I can see it kind of working. I would prefer. I would honestly prefer a show over a movie, just because with the show, at least like different episodes can be a particular boss fight.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know what I mean? And it wouldn't be like kind of just like rushed in there. So that's what I feel with most video game movies. Like they fail to deliver because of they try to cram in so much information within an hour and 30, or close to 2 hours. But usually not comic book movies, but video game movies they don't hit the 2 hour mark. They get like
90 minutes, I think, is what
they rarely hit 2 hour marks ever. So that's why it always feels like rushed, or just like it don't feel right. But this could work as a show, but maybe it could work as a, I don't know. There isn't too much to it. I mean, Dr. Wily and Dr. Light were both scientists, and they end up inventing, Mega Man, or Dr. Light ends up inventing Mega Man, while the others.
It could go the like Big Hero 6 route.
Yeah.
Where
I just don't know if this is. I'm looking on the article here by a Hollywood Reporter, and it doesn't really state whether if this is going to be live action. This is going to be an animated film. If it's animated, oh hell yes! But I mean, if it's live action, that's where it gets tricky.
Yeah. If it's animated like Big Hero 6 and all those other kind of movies, then absolute slam dunk.
Yeah, it doesn't address whether if this is going to be animated or not. It just says that Mattson, who co-wrote the script for the Batman, will write the adaptation for the sci-fi comic from author who signed 3 years overall deal with Sony Pictures Television. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I would watch it if it was a thing. It's definitely going to pique my interest. Like, I'm oddly, speaking of video game movies, I'm oddly kind of excited to see the new Sonic movie and how that actually turns out. Because if that's a success, I think that's going to open the door for...
Yeah, that opened the door for more video game movies.
Which will be cool.
At first, I'll be honest with you, too. I wasn't rooting for the Sonic movie. It looked like a piece of shit.
That first animation style, good lord.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like an early 2000s movie. I think everybody agrees with that. It looks like a Scooby-Doo, or like those other, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
what's the other movie that I'm thinking of? Yogi Bear and the Garfield. Like, it just looks like cheesy 2000 film, but like,
or the Smurfs kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's another one too. So I'm rooting for it now because of the way it looks. If they can get the music, the character down, then we'll see. Because
yeah, I mean,
we're definitely gonna review it. We're definitely, whether if it's bad or not, we're gonna review it because it's Sonic.
Well, I mean, like, if you look at like Detective Pikachu, I thought the way that visually did it and the way the movie was done, I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a fun time.
I'm on the opposite end of that.
Really?
I actually did not like it that much. I thought visually it looked great. I'll agree with you on that. I think some certain Pokemon look fucking awesome. The only one I didn't like was Gengar. Like, he looked terrible.
Yeah, okay.
He looked pretty bad. But everybody, dude, Charizard, oh my god, Cubone, all those guys look sick. Loved it. I just didn't agree with the story of how it went. And how it ended, because it just didn't make any sense to me that How the hell did he not know that was his dad?
That's
like,
a fair point, but I mean, like, I don't know.
You know, but I don't want to get too much into
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu. I want to toss it back to Mega Man. I think this is cool. I am rooting for it to be an animated film. I think it make it in a style of you know, like what you said, Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
That would be fucking awesome. I am totally down for that, and I can see this as a movie for an animation. Live action, that's a different devil. I don't know about that.
That's a whole nother kit and caboodle.
Yeah, but this is cool. What do you think about?
Cool? Pretty much what you just said. I mean, like, overall, I don't know. It really depends on what it turns out to be. I'm not super familiar with Mega Man too much, but I don't know. I'm an open book to it. I don't have an opinion too strict either way, to be honest with this one. Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll leave it at that then.
Yeah.
I got two more.
Okay.
But these are by Disney. It's a twofer. It's a twofer. A live action Bambi remake is in development at Disney with Geneva Robinson and Lindsay Beer to set to write the screenplay. And there's also a Robert Zemeckis will co-write and direct Disney's Pinocchio remake. Production is eyed to begin in late 2020. So we got two remakes, live action too.
Yeah.
Bambi and Pinocchio.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Tim? I see your eye, man. What are you thinking?
So far, the only of the live action remakes that I've found enjoyable to a point where I'd actually be down to watch it again unironically and just kind of really watch it for that is the Beauty and the Beast remake with Emma Watson. I really enjoyed that one. The Aladdin one with Will Smith I thought was fine. The Lion King one I thought was a shadow of what Lion King the animated movie is.
Right.
And the main problem with that was how it was animated and everything like that. And I feel they're going this route of just remaking childhood nostalgia to a point just to make kind of money, not necessarily because it's needed. And with Bambi being a live action, I feel like they're going to go the same route with they did with Lion King, where it's hard to tell if there's any animation or emotion. And it's a deer at that point. I don't want to see just a deer running for its life in a fire. You know what I mean? Like, it's depressing as shit.
I'll be completely honest with you. I just remember Thumper, which is the rabbit.
Right. And you said you cut out slightly there. You said that you hadn't seen Bambi before?
I haven't seen Bambi in like years. Like I think that one, and then I think Fox and the Hound is Disney as well, right?
Yeah, that is.
Those are the two movies that I probably have only seen once in my lifetime.
Yeah. The thing with Bambi too, like, the whole idea of doing it live action only really makes sense to me if there's a lot of like human roles. I don't know. So it seems strange to do Bambi because I know there's the hunter, but I don't think there's too many other.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a remake, so they're gonna do a different take on it. Because even as far as I'm aware, Dumbo is not following the film. Like, you know,
the remake,
it's not copy and paste. Yeah,
no, it did not.
No. It's not the same thing with the Lion King. I heard that one wasn't like super copy and paste. They changed quite a few things there, and then also with the Aladdin, that one I enjoyed the most out of all the live actions. To be honest with you,
of the Aladdin one,
of the Aladdin one. Even though I was going into it like kind of not hating it, but not thinking that I was gonna like it as much, just because of the late great
Robin Williams. Yeah. No one's gonna best him on that.
Yeah. So, but it was. I think Will Smith did the best he could with the character.
It was a cool genie. I liked him.
It was a different take on him, and I'm glad. I was happy with what he gave us.
What was the other movie?
The Beast. What?
Besides Bambi, what was it?
Oh, Pinocchio.
Okay, trying to keep that in the back of my mind. Continue with your idea of Beauty and the Beast. Sorry.
Yeah. So, Beauty and the Beast, on the other hand, for me, it didn't do it. Like, there's certain points I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't. I couldn't see Emma Watson as Belle.
Dude, I thought she was perfect as that. That's so. See, I wasn't
convinced as Belle for some reason.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Beauty and the Beast, the animated movie, a lot. Like, I watched it because my girlfriend watches it. She used to watch it on repeat, man, like as background noise, And I just, I enjoyed it. That one was really good. But the live action, I don't know. I just couldn't see her. It was so distracting because I kept seeing Hermione. Yes.
Well, that's why it worked for me. It's like, I'm like, of course she's playing Belle because Hermione's such a bookworm, and so like it just made sense for me. It just translated.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, for me, it was just more distracting.
Right.
So Bambi remake, I'm like, whatever's about it. I wouldn't see it. I could if it's like a Disney Plus thing, cool.
Yeah.
You know,
like they did the Lady and Tramp remake.
Yeah, and I haven't seen that one yet, but I heard good things about it.
Sure. I'll let you make up your mind. Yes, I'm not going to say too much on it.
Okay. Yeah. Now Pinocchio, on the other hand, I would be down to see a live action version of that.
Yeah, same. The reason for me is there's people.
Yeah, and there was already another live action Pinocchio movie back in the 90s. With Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that one too.
I don't remember that for shit. I really don't.
I think it aired on TV. I don't think it was in theaters. As far as I remember, I don't remember if it was in theaters or not. I can be completely wrong here, but somebody can, check if you'd like. But I do remember the movie with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and that one was pretty good. And I feel like Pinocchio can work as a live action movie because it's, he's pretty much a puppet, turns into a boy, and there's more human in the movie than there is
and that movie's a trip too. It's got a lot of stuff in it. I remember I wonder what they would do with that whole I guess it's the island of temptation kind of idea. Like, would it still be like based on alcohol and all that, or would it strictly like start going into
I would love it if they kept it close to what the original was, the animation was, because all those kids were bad, smoking cigars,
I know,
drinking, and then they all turned into donkeys. I thought it was fucking awesome, dude. I
cool.
liked all that. So I think to see that in a live action, would be pretty cool, man. I'd be down with that.
And traumatizing for the children, which would be great.
Yes. Either theater release or Disney Plus. I'm cool with that. Bambi, on the other hand, not a big fan, so I feel like I'm biased against that because I never really cared for it in the first place. But
it's a sad time. This overall,
but it's just I feel like both of these. It's interesting that we wanted to bring these up because I think we find it interesting that the fact that they're remaking shit. They're gonna continue that route to keep making things. They're not slow. It's obviously seems like they're not slowing down.
No, so long as it makes money back for them, it's easy because they already have the IP and they just got to make it something that's kind of a new package. So if that's your thing and that's what you love, more power to you, and that's good news then. And I'm excited for you. So there's a lot more to come as well. So
yeah. All right. Well, I have 3 more, but I'm going to toss it over to you. Finish your end, and then I'll finish mine.
Okay. Well, back over at Marvel Studios then, Disney Plus She-Hulk series is eyeing to begin filming in July in Atlanta. So that's going to be really cool. Do you know anything about She-Hulk?
I know very little about She-Hulk. I'm interested though. Yeah. I'm interested just because I remember when they announced it at Comic-Con, right? Was that right?
Oh, yeah. I think it was Comic-Con. Yes, maybe.
Last year? Yeah, it was last year Comic-Con. I believe they announced it. And that came out of nowhere because I was like, whoa, I didn't even think about She-Hulk. What the fuck?
That's cool.
But I think that could be a really cool idea.
She's one of the other main characters of Marvel that can break the fourth wall. She knows she's in a comic book as well, which is kind of cool.
I just hope we can get Bruce Banner in there.
Yeah, I'd be down. That'd be cool.
Or Hulk Bruce, or whatever. You know, even if he's not in there the entire time, I think it'd be really cool to see him in there every once in a while.
He's in the background carrying tacos to God knows where.
Yeah, minding his business. Yeah, I think it's cool. Like I said, I don't know too much about the history of She-Hulk. Do you know anything at all as far as the character goes?
Not super specific. I mean, my knowledge on her is pretty hazy. But I will say, if I remember correctly, at one point I know she showed pretty almost on par strength with Hulk when he was fully going out. She kind of almost matched him. So if I remember correctly, she's almost on par with him. So that'd be really kind of cool to see, a Hulk versus Hulk moment in the future. Who knows? That's It's
And
cool.
I don't think they've announced the casting for She-Hulk yet, right?
I don't think so. No, I think it's too early.
I want to know who the hell is going to play her.
Yeah, I mean, they may have. I can look it up real quick. As far as I know, they have not.
Who would you want to play She-Hulk?
Well, the lady you wanted to be Wonder Woman. She was in Deadpool, and she's also in The Mandalorian. She'd be cool. Yeah. I think she'd make a good one. But it says announced at 2019's D23, along with Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk will be written by Jessica Gao, who worked on Rick and Morty, and is expected to be a location-heavy production, meaning it might not require quite as much studio time as something as like Loki. The search for an actress to portray Jennifer Walters or She-Hulk began late last year, but they have yet to find one.
Another one I actually completely forgot about was Loki.
Yeah, dude.
We haven't gotten any update on that, and apparently it's already like majority of it's already shot.
I think
I remember they showed screenshots of the show and everything.
Yeah,
I like actual scenes and stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy too, because Tom Hiddleston as Loki was huge. I remember the fan base was going bananas for Loki for several years. They probably still are. So I'm surprised. Now
that is actually continuing from Endgame's story,
where he grabbed the Tesseract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that'd
be cool.
But the whole She-Hulk thing, I think hopefully they can get a good casting for that. But then again, like I said, I don't really know too much of the story. I don't know if she was like a super scrawny nerdy girl and became, the She-Hulk, if she's always the She-Hulk. So I'm curious to know what they dabble, in that character and what they show us. Because like I said, I don't know too much about it. And the same goes for Guardians of the Galaxy. I had no idea about those characters that much until they showed us in the films, and I fucking loved it. Guardians of the Galaxy, probably one of my favorite Marvel movies, if not the favorite Marvel movie.
It's up there for sure. I mean, as soon as I watched those movies,
the first one,
perfect. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies, James Gunn did such a good job with that soundtrack too. I have both CDs in my car. I'm still rocking CDs for some reason. But yeah, no, it's
You're showing your age, Tim.
I'm sorry. 1994 wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Let's see. Discussing film, continuing with the Marvel talk, has told us that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier will still premiere on this August on Disney Plus. Fantastic.
So the last thing we heard before this news was that they halted production, because there was earthquakes in Puerto Rico where they were filming.
Yes.
So we didn't get an update whether if it was gonna like completely just stop, and then they were gonna continue it next year or what, But them releasing this information that it's gonna be aired in August, right, of this year.
Yep, August of this year.
Yeah, August. So that shows us that it's still on par with it's probably
Yeah, and that even puts it before WandaVision still.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Because that comes out in November, if I remember right.
Do you have any hopes for the series at all?
For Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yeah,
dude. Anthony Mackie and what's his name? Who plays Bucky? I cannot remember his name right now. I love them on the screen. I think they have really good chemistry. I remember you pointing out to me and reminding me in Civil War, the banter they had between each other while they're getting their butts handed to them by Spider-Man was so hilarious. And the fact that now they have Cap's shield and they're going to be facing Zemo from Avengers Age of Ultron, except he's actually going to have like the full costume.
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan. Yeah. I'm looking really forward to it. I have no specific expectations, but I trust the actors. I trust Marvel. I'm looking forward to it wholeheartedly. But that's just me. I don't know if you have any specifics that you're looking forward to.
Dude, honestly, looking at the casting for this, it looks pretty damn good, man. I'm excited, honestly. And they even got Wyatt Russell in there, Kurt Russell's son. He's a pretty good actor.
Yep.
He's playing John Walker. I think, like I said, they already got the chemistry down. Sebastian and Anthony Mackie, if they make it like a buddy cop type of film, where they're going on missions together and maybe their teamwork isn't as great in the beginning, but it gets better over time, and they just start to trust each other. It just ends up being like, it could be great. I think it could be really good. And then they have Daniel Brühl playing Simo, and that dude is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, he was great. For a guy not having powers at all in Civil War, he was still intimidating. And
I've always liked his character. And not only that, but like I've always liked him as an actor ever since Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah, he was fucking awesome in that one, man.
Yes, he was.
And, so I think this is good, man. I'm excited. I'm just happy that it's okay. We got the update, and yes, it is coming this year still. So it's like, fuck yes.
Stuff to look forward to, man. Stuff to look forward to. Something else to kind of look forward to if you're a huge fan of Captain Marvel. Is Captain Marvel 2 is officially in the works with the WandaVision writer Megan McDonnell set to pen the script, and it's going to be coming out, if I remember correctly, in 2021.
2021.
Which is cool. Personally, and I may get flack for this, I don't know. Out of a lot of the MCU movies, I have a few that I really don't like, and the top of that list for me is Captain Marvel. Has nothing to do.
Number one.
Yeah, as my least favorite.
Wow. Okay.
Has nothing to do with the fact that it's Captain Marvel as a character. Has nothing to do with the team behind it and the actress or anything like that. The way the character was written and the way she came off, and I guess a lot of the dialogue in that movie, it just felt off, and she was such a bully kind of a person, and I really didn't like that personally. And I don't know, it just felt tacked on at the time. That could have been just because I was fresh out of Infinity War and like starving for Endgame. I had to have to revisit it. But I remember walking into theaters with that movie and I was like, I really didn't like this at all. But seeing her in Endgame, I liked her in that movie a lot. So I'm kind of open to the sequel. I don't know how you feel about the character and this movie.
You know what's weird too is that they filmed Endgame's scenes
before.
And I loved her in Endgame. I thought she was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Didn't like her Captain Marvel that much at all.
Yeah.
I feel the same way with you, man. I think the story was just meh. And not only that, they butchered the hell out of the whole story behind Samuel Jackson's eye patch.
Oh, I forgot. That's why I was so pissed.
That was like,
I forgot about that,
dude. That one really ruined it for me. I was like, really? That's awful, like, come on. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. But if they can get it, like, hopefully they can channel the what she did in Endgame, like that character there.
She's still self-confident in Endgame, but she's not a dick about it. You know what I mean? She's
not a dick about it. Yeah. If they can do that, I'm down. I'm down for sure. Like, I mean, regardless, we're gonna get it, whether we like it or not. Yeah. But I mean, hopefully they can get that same tone of the character that we liked in Endgame a little bit more than the one that we got in Captain Marvel. Because I don't think we're the only ones that didn't like it either.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think it flopped for some reason. It made $1 billion at box office. So
it could have done better. For sure. It did phenomenal, obviously, but it could have done way better if it wasn't for those little,
Oh, yeah. It would have had legs.
The controversy that came with her saying some rude shit about, people. And she should have literally just not said anything. But, sometimes these actors or certain people feel like they need to say something to get off their chest or whatever. But,
But yeah, I'm cautiously, I'll say that very carefully, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it has potential for sure.
I do so too. So I'm up for it. So we'll see. We'll stay optimistic about it, like you said.
Now, one thing I have abundance of hype and optimism for, and I know you do too, is Matt Reeves has begun filming on The Batman. He tweeted out a photo with one of those clicker things on a leather chair. Tell me how hyped you are. Just like what's going on, Jimmy?
Man. I've been staying up to date with everything Batman news related with that film, dude. Just the fact that they said that it was going to have the tone of the animated series, and all the casting for each character, I'm on board with. The only one that was a little iffy about was Colin Farrell playing the Penguin at first,
Sure.
but
You've warmed up
I
to
was
it.
just iffy. I wasn't like, oh no, that's terrible. But I was just more on the, like, maybe they can do it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's most people think of the Penguin from animated Batman Arkham games, or the movie with Danny DeVito, that version where he's just like pudgy and talks like a gangster. He walks around, you know what I mean? But there has been a version in the comic books where he's like slim, and also in the TV show Gotham,
right?
Where he's slim and he's smart about his decisions. So I think I'm on board with everything that they've made, man. And them announcing today that they've started, shooting, which I think is a load of BS, because I've seen photos of them already shooting certain scenes already.
It could have been test shooting, like not official, like this is everyone.
Like, oh, day one, like, okay, this is
like officially like what we're starting
Robert
from.
Pattinson, everybody's on set type of thing. Yeah, that's true. Very true. It could have been just like simple shots or whatever, background stuff. Maybe like you said, test shooting. So, but yeah, man, fucking excited, man. I just want more Batman, dude, and hopefully they do the character justice, and we're back on board with the bats, man.
And they said it's going to be very like he's going to really show his detective skills.
Yeah, no, I'm up for that, man.
Which is
especially
great.
Since it said that it's going to be heavy in tone with the animated series, which I grew up on. Same. And I've watched multiple times. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched the animated series, or you just never really got into it. But watch it. It still holds up to this day, man. And I cannot believe some of the stuff that they got away with was showing us on Fox Kids, dude. Yeah. There's killings and a lot of like dark shit. The show was dark, man.
Yeah, it's not a perfect show. There's some episodes like I've got Batman in my basement.
There's fillers. There is definitely a lot
shaky,
of fillers.
But when it's good, it's phenomenal.
Yes.
It's a really good thing.
And it did a lot of the characters great. And not only that, but we got a lot of people's one of their favorite characters, which is Harley Quinn. That's where she originated from, was the animated series. She wasn't in a comic book before. No, she was. She came originally from the animated series. So if it has that tone of it, I'm more excited for it.
Yeah, dude. And it's also responsible for taking Mr. Freeze and turning him from a B-list villain of I'm bald, therefore I'm bad, to that's literally what he was, to now him being a tragic character. Like they did so well, and the fact that they're citing that as we're aiming for that kind of tone plus what we're going to do with it from there on. Yeah, it's like I'm so excited for it. So
yeah, absolutely, and you can expect us to keep you guys updated with the news of Batman and related stuff, because we're both Bat fans.
Yeah.
We're excited, and hopefully some of you guys are excited with us, and anything news related regarding that film we will definitely cover all the way up until its release. But,
absolutely. So I'm going to toss it back over to you. I'm officially fresh out of news. That's all I had.
All right, we got 3 more, and we're going to keep it on with the comic book news here.
Okay.
Reeves, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, has assured fans that Deadpool 3 absolutely can have an R rating due to the film likely being released under Disney's 20th Century Studios banner.
Okay, how do you think about that?
How does that make you?
That's great. I mean, I'm perfectly fine. We talked about how it's definitely possible for him to be under PG-13 if he's where he's being censored. I think a friend of mine he listened to the podcast, shout out to you, buddy, mentioned to me that Christmas version of Deadpool 2 that they released, I don't know if you remember that they did that.
I never seen that one, actually, by the way, just because it was PG-13. But I've always wanted to watch it just because it had,
what's his name from Neverending Story?
Yes.
Is it that? No,
not Neverending Story.
Which one is that then? Oh, fuck. Princess Bride?
Yes.
Thank you. Shish. almost got murdered. Anyway, literally, they I forgot where I was at.
Oh, Fred Savage. There we go. I was
Fred Savage.
My mind. I was like, God, Fred Savage. Wonder Years. Wonder Years. I kept thinking to myself.
Yes.
So Fred Savage. I wanted to watch it because it had him in there, and it was so random that I was like, whoa. Where the fuck has Fred Savage been all this whole time? And it's just out of nowhere he pops up in a Deadpool movie.
That's fantastic.
So that was that's classic Deadpool, by the way, too.
Yeah. Because my buddy mentioned that in that version, which I also never watched it, Deadpool is being censored, and he's aware, like we were talking about, which I had no idea. So it could work that way too. But if they're allowed to go R, I say go R because I think he's strongest at that rating.
I don't think they should change the character, or like decent. Monetize his ass for being to PG-13 because I think R rating it's just perfect for the character, man. It just fits so well, you know.
Yes.
And yes, like we get it. We don't expect him to be soaring up a storm if he ends up being in an Avengers movie later down the line. We get that. He doesn't have to, but like in his own films, keep him R rated, please.
He's free there. Let him have a space.
Because it's just that's what makes the character really, really funny is the fact that he's just doesn't give a fuck, you know?
Yep.
So I'm happy. Hopefully this kind of lets people, you know, relax a little bit and not wonder so much whether whether the franchise is going to keep going for Deadpool, because I think people are wondering what the fuck's happening with a lot of these films the Fox studio had, or what is Disney going to do with them, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think I doubted the fact that they were going to continue doing these movies, but the big doubt was whether if it was going to be R-rated or not. So at least we got reassurance that hey, it can still be R-rated. Don't worry about that. That's not the thing you should be worried about. So that's a good thing. On the news, we got Joby Harold and James Vanderbilt are set to write 2 separate Transformer films for Paramount and Hasbro. What do you think?
It's not Michael Bay, so I'm interested.
Good, fair point. But I just feel like I'm burnt out of fucking Transformers movies, man. I feel like they need to take a break from the Transformers stuff. Tackle another another cartoon / toy line. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like the toy line they should do justice for is at least like Ninja Turtles or G.I. Joe.
Like, Ninja Turtles has been on the floor for a while.
Man, Ninja Turtles fucking flopped so hard with the ones with Michael Bay.
I'm starting to see a pattern, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's just he just ruined it for me, man. Because I think you know this. A lot of people know this, but I love the Ninja Turtles, man. Yeah. And I think they need to. They need justice, man. They need somebody back there to do not like a CGI version of the Turtles, but do practical effects. That's why the 90s movies did so well.
I was just about to ask you about those.
Because of the practical effects. They did so well because of that, and they were funny. So, and with G.I. Joe, I feel like they can do a lot better with the G.I. Joe movie.
I didn't realize I was never big into G.I. Joe. Ever really, and I remember watching the movie and being very kind of like, well, this is taking itself very seriously.
You never watched any of the cartoons for
No.
G.I. Joe? Yeah. See, I grew up with 2 older brothers that were big in age difference. Like my older brother's 10 years older than me, and then my middle brother's 8 years older than me. So we're big and different. So a lot of the 80s, classic 80s cartoons, they introduced me to it. So that's why I know a lot about a lot of these older ones,
right?
Like He-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, like I mentioned, the Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles came out the same year that I was born, 89. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I think everyone worth their salt has at least given that version of Ninja Turtles their time, because that's a great show. But yeah, this whole Transformers thing, I don't know, because they've kind of run it into the ground at this point. I mean, there's a lot that's kind of just all over the place.
I've stopped watching them, man. I stopped watching them after 3. The third one was terrible. The first one, I liked it a lot. I think it's because, like I said, I love Shia LaBeouf, But the second one, even with Shia LaBeouf being in there, it was kind of Like you can tell that it just went like, okay, this is just a dumb popcorn like movie. Like don't think about too much what's
Yeah, and
going
that's also
on.
where they shifted and made a lot more just crude humor and
Yeah.
jokes and
But I
explosions.
have heard decent things about Bumblebee.
I haven't
That's
seen
the
that
one
one yet.
with yeah, and I heard decent things.
Yeah.
So I might give it a shot. We'll see. And then as far as these two, like I said, I think I'm just kind of burnt out from Transformers, so I'm not that excited about it. I don't know how some of you guys will feel. Let me know if you guys are excited about two separate Transformer films coming out or being worked on. I don't know if you guys want this like within the next 2 years, or if it's something that you just take your time with it, please. We don't have to get it for the next couple years. We'll be fine without Transformers. But yeah, I have one more news, and then we can go ahead and close it out. Last one. Thank you guys for sticking with us.
Saving the best for the last, boys. Let's go.
Sony's Uncharted film is now eyeing to begin filming in March in Berlin and in Spain, with Ruben Fleischer finalist to direct.
8 times a charm, Jimmy.
Oh shit, man. And it's apparently it got pushed back till 2021 because dude, this fucking movie's been in production hell, dude. Like I want to see the live action adaptation to this, man. And plus I think the route that they're going to take is basically go with the young Nathan Drake and that is supposed to star Spider-Man, what's his name? Tom Holland. And then also Mark Wahlberg as Sully. And we'll see, man. We'll see how that plays out, especially since they're playing younger versions of those two characters. And then eventually that can spawn several sequels.
True. And hey, if their goal is to just keep delaying until the actors can play the characters in their prime and at the appropriate ages, that could be a strategy too.
Dude. I wouldn't be surprised, man. I just think people are very like iffy touching video game movies right now. Maybe some directors are just like, yeah, I don't want nothing to do with this no more. Because it's just they have a long history of just being terrible, dude. So hopefully, man, they don't butcher Uncharted, because Uncharted could easily be turned into a film. That is definitely one of those video games movies or video games that can be turned into a movie
or a show.
Or a show. Well, show for sure. But like a movie, I feel like it can be turned into, especially because it has a lot of that Indiana Jones feel to it, so this can be instead of bringing back or rebooting Indiana Jones, they could do Uncharted instead. So hopefully this could be it. Hopefully this will be good.
Honestly, I almost want to say to the viewers, place your bets on how long this director stays.
I hope it does, dude. Please stick with it, man. I want to see the movie by 2021, dude.
He's number 8 though. That's the crazy thing. Like I can't at this point you can't really go, oh, this is the one. Like you just kind of have to go, let's hold out. So
it said finalist to direct too. So I don't know if that sticks at all. But, so hopefully he is the finalist.
Time will tell. Time will tell.
This is it. This is your director. So hopefully, man, I'll be down with this. Do you care about this like at all? Like as far as the film goes? I
would 100% watch this. Whatever form it comes out. Hopefully it'd be fantastic. I'd love it because I would want to see more. And if it flops, it's gonna flop hard.
Plus, I want to see more Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland's a pretty good actor, man.
Yeah, he's pretty talented.
Better. I was okay with him in the Spider-Man movie. I mentioned this before, I think episode 1. That his Spider-Man movie, he wasn't the one that made it for me. I think the one that made it for me was Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
Yeah.
I think his performance fucking killed it, and it balanced well with Tom Holland.
The inexperience of such a young actor, and that kind of went well with the character as well. But
so I mean he's getting a lot for
sure.
I know he's in that new anime movie. I think it's called Enchanted or something like that.
It's that one from Disney. Crap. I know he was just in My Spy as well. He's been doing a lot of stuff lately. He's been like in a lot of different roles. But he's in that one with Chris Pratt. Onward, right?
Onward. There we go. Yep, you're right. So
yeah.
Yeah, and there's another serious role he's actually going to play soon. I can't remember the movie just yet. Hold on, I'll go ahead and just double check here. It is Chaos Walking. I believe he's going to be in that.
Sounds
and
cool.
Then Onward, and then Devil All the Time. So yeah, and then hopefully after those films, he's going to be filming Uncharted.
That and Spider-Man.
And after Uncharted, I think Uncharted and Spider-Man are both being shot, either at the same time or one after another. So yeah. Hopefully, man. Hopefully, this is it. Like, we're finally gonna get our Uncharted movie, and I pray to the video game gods / film gods that this turns out to be like the video game movie to do great. Because I know there's another video game movie being actually shot at the moment. It's probably already done, which is the Mortal Kombat one, and that has been.
I didn't know about that.
That's been the only one that has been truly a good, quote unquote, good, because it's 90s, early 90s, and plus the plot just there's not a lot going on there. It's a tournament, and some of those fighters have supernatural powers. So that film has been known to be the only good video game movie. So hopefully this can be another one. I would like it. Please, Uncharted, guys, we got this. Cool. There's not a lot going on there, just a lot more Tomb Raiding, just like, Indiana Jones or the Tomb Raider. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's it for as far as news goes, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed all that. Let us know what your thoughts are on everything that we covered here, from the Batman stuff, from all the Marvel stuff, all the Uncharted, the horror movie stuff that we tackled on, like Anaconda, Saw. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tim, appreciate you for helping me out cover all this. It was a lot of fun, man.
No problem.
And getting your takes on the whole Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that was fun to talk about. And especially if you enjoyed that, please like the video and let us know, because I want to talk about it a lot more, but I try not to linger. Because I could go on and on.
I get it. But you know what? You're not the only one that feels that way. So there's other viewers out there that definitely feel your pain. So it's good to get your input on that, man. So yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. Once again, please like and share the video. It means the world to us. And spread the word to watch this podcast. But once again, we're out. Please go follow the Twitters, and we'll keep you guys updated, and stay tuned for our review of Honey Boy. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching episode 5 of What's Poppin' Podcast.
See you guys.